When you have an action that you are afraid to take, whether you are scared of taking the action, nervous to take the action, anxious about taking the action, you're scared, you're worried, you're overwhelmed, whatever the feeling is that you have before taking a certain action. Few examples that come to my mind are going door to door, before you knock on someone's door, before you make a cold call, before you approach a woman you find attractive, before you post a video. In all of these cases and many more that aren't coming to mind for me personally, but might come to you, oftentimes, if you are not used to taking the action, and even if you are used to taking the action, there will be times where you feel scared, anxious, nervous, overwhelmed, worried, whatever that feeling is. You're gonna feel some negative feeling before taking the action, and that negative feeling is pretty much just your brain telling you, don't take this action because there is a risk of you dying. Whether that you dying socially, you dying physically, you dying financially, your brain sends out these signals, which we call emotions and feelings. Your brain sends out these signals to prevent you from taking a certain action. Now, this was extremely useful when we are fighting lions, tigers, and bears, where if you were scared to fight a bear, it was probably a good sign to not fight that bear, to not provoke that bear. But nowadays, it's not as useful because the actions that we're afraid to take nowadays are the actions that will actually help us a lot more. And it might hurt in the short term, but it's going to help us out a lot more in the long term. Things like cold calling, things like approaching women you find attractive, door to door, sales in general, marketing, posting videos online, and many other things that you might be scared of that I did not mention. You feel a certain feeling before you take the action. Now, here's what I want you to do that I've practiced myself is before you take the action, imagine two things, two scenarios. One in which you do take the action and you're walking away after taking the action, or you hang up the phone after taking the action. You're basically completing the action. You approach a woman, and in this first scenario, you're walking away after approaching that woman. You're going door to door, you're walking away after talking to the person on the other side of the door. And the second scenario is in which you do not take that action and you do not take any other actions throughout the day. You go back home, you're in bed, you're going to sleep, and you remember the fact that you did not take action during the day. Two scenarios. You take this action that you are afraid to take right now in this very moment. Not, it doesn't have to be right now in this very moment, because I don't expect you to be standing 20 feet away from an attractive woman or you right in front of a door. But if you are, or once you get into that moment, imagine these two scenarios. You go and knock on that door. You go and approach that woman. You make that cold call. You dial those numbers. Phone starts ringing. And the beginning of the first scenario is the hang up of the phone and you putting your phone down. In this first scenario, how would you feel after having taken the action? Even if the negative outcomes that you're afraid of, the negative outcomes, whether it's you going and knocking on the door and they slam the door on your face, or that person, whoever it is on the other side of the door, they cuss you out, or even if nobody answers the door, nobody opens the door for you, how would you feel? If you feel bad, then that's a topic for another video, which would be prioritizing your action taking over your result. If you would feel more confident and more proud and more happy after having taken the action, regardless of the negative outcome, that is a good thing, because you might be scared right now, but if you take the action and no matter the result, you feel good because you took the action, that is the outcome you want. Another example, another thing that might happen is that you take the action, you get a negative outcome, and then you feel bad because you took an action with no result. That would be a topic for another video, which is more on associating your self-esteem to your actions rather than your results, and I've already posted a video on that. I don't remember the title, but I can put up a card right now. And in the second scenario is you do not take that action and you do not take any other actions throughout the day. How would you feel when you're going to bed? Lie down on your bed or on the floor or on the couch or in your car, wherever it is that you sleep. How would you feel knowing you did not take action? Are you going to feel worse about yourself, or are you going to feel happy? I don't think you're watching this video if you would feel happy not having taken the action. So more likely than not, you're not going to feel good if you did not take the action and you're lying in bed, you're lying on your couch, you're lying on the floor, wherever it is that you sleep. You would not feel good not having taken the action, not having taken that risk. So there's these two scenarios. You right now, imagine yourself, you're right before taking the action, right before approaching that woman. Or even better, once you are in that moment, bring these two scenarios to mind. How would you feel after taking the action, and how would you feel after not taking the action and losing that opportunity to take the action? Will you feel good if you took the action? Will you feel more proud of yourself? More likely than not, if you're sane and you understand that your actions are more important than your results because your actions are what get you results, then more likely than not, you're going to feel good because you took the action, regardless of the result. And then bring up the second scenario to mind. What if you did not take the result? How would you feel at the end of the day? Make it longer than just this pair of 24 hours. How would you feel in 10 years if you did not take action throughout that entire time? Looking back and wishing you took action. And how would you feel just taking one action at the end of the day? How would you feel? Would you feel more confident, more proud, more self-assured? To summarize, when you are in that moment before you take an action and you are scared of taking an action, bring these two scenarios to mind. Where you feel more confident after taking the action regardless of the result, and where you feel terrible about yourself because you did not take action. That's it for this video. My name is Herson Villatoro. If you like this video, let me know by hitting the like button so I know that you want me to keep posting this type of content, and I'll see you in the next one.